So it's drama over? I can say my opinion. All right, cool. So I would like to say that show or that animated Roblox thing was completely the most annoying written story I've ever seen. Now, of course, I'm not really on the internet like that to go see like what's going on. I don't really go search. But since I do listen to commentary, there's a person that got pulled up in my recommended called Fox Akimbo. Now I seen something called Bad Furry Days. So I was confused what I was looking at here. But I'm not here to talk about what that YouTuber said. I'm here to talk about when I watched the video and then I went to go check this series out for myself. I watched all three. I had to watch a third one on Newgrounds, but that also got taken down later. So I'm going off based on memory here. But I would like to say, and I would like to point out, am I trying to be a writer? Yes. Do I have my own published book? No. Do I make short stories and stuff like that? Yes. On my Discord and on my Google Doc. So I would like to point that out. So now I'm here to get to the point of the video where I would like to say the writing was absolutely annoying. Now, most people are currently mad at it for a very particular scene, validly so. I don't. It's that writing was random. Everything. If episode 1 wasn't obvious, everything was so random. And I guess the way I'm about to explain it, it doesn't make it come off as random, but it's gonna make you wonder what the other characters are for, or the background characters. I'm not. How do I put this? You have to create a story, so you would have to make the world around you do things for the said main character to do whatever, right? So I would like to talk about episode 1 through 3. So let's start with episode 1. From what I can recall, main character, because I don't remember the guy's name, is at a bus stop. One of his classmates pulled up and like, "Yo, did you know your best friend became a furry?" And the dude is like, "A what?" The main character was sitting there like, a what? What was that? Or like whatever. Like he was like so confused. And then his best friend, which is called Pink, comes up the cut, like calling out to the main character, and the main character was like, "Bruh." So here's your first clue of apparently the dynamic between these characters. These two are apparently best friends. These guys should know each other. So why is the main character just all of a sudden, "Oh, I don't like this guy. No longer my best friend"? I think best friend mean differently a lot to people, but the fact that someone decided to that his best friend became a furry was just like it was donezo for him. Now, what I think was weird of the best friend was how Pink just came up and started getting all touchy with the main character. The main character like pushes him back. So I'm sitting here like, whoa, this is your best friend. Is this not normal? Or is it the fact that he's dressed as a furry? But I'm trying to sit here and think, like, if this is your best friend, your reaction would not be so aggressive. At least I think, right? It shouldn't be. Who's aggressive to their best friend? So the main character wasn't trying to hear all that. I'm summarizing this, obviously. I mean, he wasn't trying to hear all this. And what Pink does was trying to convince the main character that furries are not bad and all this, right? So somehow the same character that literally just got shoved by the main character, Pink just grabs the main character and takes them to this weird mini-con. It looked like a mini-con, like I said, a circuit. I forgot. It doesn't look like it was like crazy, right? So when taking them to this con, I'm gonna just say the main character did not want to be there. Like you could tell they did not want to be there. They didn't like it. They was already worried about how they look, how they talk, and how they act. But what triggered that main character the worst was the fact that they were seeing relationships building. Like they seen two other furries kissing, and some of them just being offhandedly. Well, I guess to the main character would be degenerate. I think there was one scene that was out of pocket, but that was triggering the main character. It was grossed out by all of this. So I'm gonna just move straight to the end of the episode. After this long talk, right? And here's the next thing that also conflicted me with episode 1. The pink is like, oh yeah, I hope did you have like, I guess like check and see if they have fun today. And the main character is like, yeah, it was great. We should totally do it again sometime. And then for some reason, keep in mind, this is this man's best friend. Pink weirdly says, maybe next time we can do it like in the bed. Which I was like, bro, is this not your best friend? What are you doing? Hold on. Are you not like? Aren't you supposed to be comfortable with your best friend? Aren't y'all confused? Y'all know each other for a long time. What's going on here? Not that it mattered anyway, because for some weird reason, main character says, yeah, nah, and then Pink was like, what? And then the main character, boom, straight through the dome, or well, through his face. The main character shot their best friend through the face. For one, where? No indicator, no foreshadowing, nothing. That was random. Why? Who? There's no way this guy thought this was just like a good idea. If this wasn't supposed to be a story, they did not help, because they made episodes and they're all connected to the same guy. So there was supposed to be a plot here. Episode 2 had me more dumbfounded. Right? It is not as dumbfounded as episode 3, but we'll get to that in a second. Episode 2 had me more dumbfounded. It was the fact of the matter that for some reason this man calls, I don't know who he called. I don't know, like I think it was someone named Henry. I'm not sure, but they made a call and they were talking to them. I wonder if they were even talking to anybody. And I'm getting a suspicion that they probably were like going through something in their head, because they like went on the phone. Yeah, I killed my best friend, and it was like, what? And then, like, for some reason, the main character was like, oh, someone was like telling me, like, it's like God was telling me to like I needed to just like end them. And I was like, I'm sitting here like nothing. I mean, if you want to argue those moments in episode 1 where he like looks at things like he like seen God, or like he's seen the most horrific thing, or something that really put him, unless you want to count those moments, I guess. So this man was on the phone, and for some reason, the guy on the other end was like, oh yeah, you liked it or something. And then fast forwarding, because the call drops for some reason after like their conversation a little bit more, a cop pulls up out of nowhere and just says, don't move, you're under arrest, and takes him to the detective. So this man's getting interrogated. Some guy, first of all, the investigator leaves and some other guy comes in, and I guess the station was also closing down for some reason. So when this guy gets him out with some other person, he's like, oh, yo, go through that vent, right? And this guy was like dressed like some professional. And when I'm assuming this is a teenager or a kid, right? When the main character goes out, he goes out with this grown guy or this grown adult, and proceed to leave the station through a vent. They get into this guy's car, right? Well, actually saying the main character gets into this random guy's car. The guy drives, and the main character's asking, where are you taking me? The driver doesn't respond, and the main character keeps saying, where are you taking me? But next scene, there's this deer furry that was walking in under a streetlight. The driver sees this, speeds up the gas, and just keeps going, hits the deer furry, stops the car. The deer furry is limp on the ground, or at least they're struggling, right? So the driver gets out the car. Instead of checking on the person they just pretty much hit, they go to the front of the vehicle, look at it, just a dent, and gets back in the car and continues to drive. And the main character goes quiet. Okay. I guess just telling you a clear correlation here, right? Main character kills his best friend for some reason. That became a furry. Driver kills another furry on the street. Okay. These guys are monsters. But see, episode 2 isn't over. What happens next is the driver gives us the main character an address while using the subway, so they can go use the subway and get to that address. Now, what's about to go crazy is what happens down in the subway. If episode 3 is not going to sound crazy enough. Go down to the subway. The main character sits there waiting for the subway train. For some reason, this random furry girl was literally sexually assaulting the noob Roblox character. And I'm sitting there. No, it didn't get crazy, but obviously it was not appropriate, right? It's not as crazy as what actually happens in episode 3. But the noob pushes this furry character off and then proceed to like winded them. And what would happen next in that same scene, while that same female furry was turned around, the noob just pulls out a bat from thin air and just proceed to choke that furry. And while they were pretty much either dazed or I'm not sure if they were already dead, he uses the bat and just pretty much just busted their head open. And I'm just like, what is, I guess, dude, right? You could tell that this show is making a clear indication of what's about to happen. These short episodes are making a clear indication of what's about to happen. This plot so far was goofy to me because it's just like, okay, well, we guess just don't like furries. So what the noob does is tell the main character, get a group, team up, yada yada yada, whatever, something. So main character takes subway, makes it to the house, sits down, and proceeds to make a call. Episode 2 was as random as episode 1. Well, not as random. I mean, obviously, main character kills a furry, gets interrogated. Well, first of all, gets arrested, gets half-baked interrogated. Random guy pulls up, gets him out with ease, by the way. With ease. No trouble. Drives down the street, rammed into a furry with their car. The driver did. And noob just, I guess, defending himself. The plot, to me, I don't see where it evolved other than more furries are about to get murked. Where did it evolve? What did our main character learn? Like, there's no trauma from this man. Even though it sounded like at the beginning of episode 2, it sounds like he felt like he didn't want to kill his best friend, I guess. But he did it out of just like sheer, like someone was telling him. Like, I didn't see no development within that same character that just killed their best friend. I did not see development whatsoever. Now, episode 3 was the most, oh my gosh, I think this is what hit the mark for everybody, right? People were saying how talented this guy is, but he wasted it on something like this. I could... People can present themselves any way they want. Just don't be surprised by the consequences, right? So, what happens in episode 3, and you can fault me for this one. I'm sitting here trying to listen. This time I was like, I heard episode 3 was crazy, so I asked 2 of my friends another one, but the other one was like asleep. I got Jev and Grizzy to watch this with me. So we at episode 3, and I'm about to summarize episode 3 at the best of my ability right now, right? And it seems like the main character has met up with this group, and what they're about to do is the biggest massacre that is completely unnecessary. But since they find furries as animals or subhuman or people that shouldn't exist, they're gonna go through with this anyway. The same main character was getting put, like, it's the fact that they are aware that they're about to go and do this. But episode 3 made me mad, and that writing was pushing me to think, what was I supposed to feel about this main character if he's not the main character, right? So I would assume there's like some weird prologue because of what happens to the main character at the end. But let me just continue explaining. They get into this vehicle. They get their fake furry costume. Main character puts on like some weird Batman outfit with a red furry head, and the other guy, which is the worst person that has been horrible, you didn't think it could get no worse, puts on this blue furry suit with obviously doesn't match the body. White no that doesn't match the body. So they get into this vehicle. My friend Grizzy was paying attention. I didn't. They were apparently saying the most craziest stuff at the beginning. I couldn't hear it. It felt like mumbo jumbo to me because I'm using a headset to listen. So maybe the voices just didn't prop correctly and it just did not quite work. So when listening to it, it just sounded like mumbo jumbo to me. So I didn't process anything there. So my fault for not listening to that. Not that I don't think it's important because, character dialogue. I feel like, I'm lying. Character dialogue is important so you can understand the characters. But that scene tells me a whole different perspective about them regardless. The entire scene is about to go down. It's about to give me a whole different perspective. Right when they are in this vehicle and ready to go, and they had their chat, 2 of the individuals that are trying to be dressed as Furry go into the con while taking out their bags with their guns and their SWAT. I'm gonna call it the SWAT team clothing. And they go in and they have a little small talk, but they run into this furry girl, this really good looking furry lady, right? And the blue guy, not the main character, the one in the blue suit, decided to see what, like, I guess I couldn't even tell, right? Because the scene that's about to come later is about to, like, it felt random because it's not like he foreshadowed. The writer didn't foreshadow if this was gonna happen. There was no way to know. Didn't observe the character up and down. No signals, no sign. Just an exchanging conversation. The furry girl was like, "Oh, humans at a con? That's strange," or something like that, right? And somehow she seen through it. Somehow, because realistically, if I was in any one situation in that con, I would not have been able to tell. I would just assume it's just how some people would wear their characters. So the guy in the blue was like, yeah, you don't like it or something? Like, she, it seemed a little off to her, but she started getting into her character, something about humans, things like that. And she went about her business, and the guy continued to follow the main character. They make it to the bathroom. They started to switch into their actual outfits, like the SWAT team thing, whatever SWAT, and proceeded to, how do I put this? When they geared up, another furry walks out the bathroom stall. What the main character does is takes out some knife and proceeded to slit this furry's throat. Now, if this doesn't tell you this is about to get serious, this is about to get serious. That creator, well, did what they want with their animation, I suppose. Once they brutally, well, the main character, I'm really about to go deep on this main character for a reason, did this. They walk out the bathroom, no blood on them, by the way, with their SWAT clothes and outfit and a gun. They're big guns. They're heavy guns. As soon as they both walked out, two furries were walking up ahead, and of course, they noticed this, and just like me, I would assume as well. I'm like, huh? Weird fit, like weird cosplay, bro. Just like, well, like that would be so strange to me. Like, if I actually, my one friend said, first of all, if he's seen someone like at a con wearing something like that, and then they getting tackled, and I'm just like, I told him like, bro, I wouldn't even assume that's real. I'm not gonna lie, because you're pretty much in a costume party. I would just assume that's like some weird joke, or like they're about to go do a play or something. But no, my friend's military. He's doing military stuff, so I guess it makes sense for him to be like, yeah, nah, if someone pulls up like that, they're getting tackled, right? So what's getting me with this scene is they just killed them. They just killed the two other furries with their guns. Somehow no one in the main room didn't hear that. No one in any other room, they didn't hear it. But I didn't tell you how many people was in that car. So the two people that was in that vehicle, they are in the building. But there were three more. The driver and two other people that's supposed to go in on the massacre. So the two other people just walked in out that vehicle. Freely walked in, looked around. They got their guns up. Massacre every furry they see. Even though they had Star Trooper aim, they got everybody in that main room. Everybody. Now, I'm just like, I guess if it wasn't obvious, I guess, right? It was clear. It was obvious what was about to happen here. Now, fast forwarding, for some reason, I don't know. I don't think this guy even deserves a name, right? What do I call this guy? I genuinely don't know. I'm gonna call him the groper. the ultimate groper. Okay, so the groper guy proceeded to find this same furry lady he talked to earlier, and this is the part where everybody was like, "Yo, what is your problem?" To me, I was confused when I first heard it, right? But seeing what happens, well, you don't actually get to see it was off screen. This man, the ultimate groper, brought her in to the bathroom and forced himself upon her and lied to I'm assuming he's a kid, because he said he's too young to understand what he was doing, and it was bad, dude. Like, if the groaning noises wasn't enough, the realistic voice acting, if that, like, yeah, it proved to did what it wants to do. That creator did what they wanted to do. They made their animation. I think they would have got away with the massacre thing, personally, because I'm pretty sure I've seen stuff like this on YouTube before, where people just like massacre furries, or at least they give furries like a chance. I'm not gonna sit here and say this didn't happen in the same animation. I guess they kind of did at the end of the episode 3, but first of all, that was random. Another key moment in that person's writing where it was random. So when the dude finishes and zips up his pants or whatever, the main character's like, yo, did you just, and the ultimate gripper was like, shh, no, we don't talk about that. Coolly acknowledging what bro just did. Now, why does the main character care? I'm about to be honest, right? Now you're probably like, oh, well, brother. He killed his best friend. He just helped people in a massacre. Why did the main character care? But maybe that scene wasn't enough to show that he cared. What's going to happen next is what really bothered me. They get to the security office. They tackle the security guy that was for some reason just bumping. Like this man was hitting, like he was jamming. And just somehow didn't notice anything that was going on or nor opened his eyes to look. The ultimate groper walks up behind him and they proceeded to hold him and tell the main character, shoot him. What does the main character do? You would assume he would shoot him. Nope. Shuts the door. Like, just straight up shuts the door on them. And the ultimate groper took out his knife and brutally killed the guy. I'm sitting there in the back of my mind, like, at that point, main character should have just shot, right? And I'm confused why he didn't. So ultimate groper pulls up on him and was like, yo, what's your problem? And pretty much let him straight, like, this is important. You should know what you've gotten into. Which I'm sitting there thinking, like, yeah, he should have known what he got into. He just killed his best friend. I don't think you would care. The moment you kill someone, I think you lost touch with reality. This man didn't show signs that he felt bad about killing his best friend. And it was really annoying me that this man suddenly had a change of heart in the same episode. Like I was supposed to feel bad for this guy. I could not feel bad for this character. I couldn't, dude. I just couldn't. I don't know how anyone with the sense of writing or like making characters, you look at this and you're like, I feel bad for this guy. Now, no one hasn't mentioned this part. I think I'm the only one that like does not like well, first of all, people don't like the whole thing for miraculous different reasons, which is valid. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say you can't have your own opinion about how you feel about that animation, but the fact that the main character was supposed to, he got geared up. What did you expect, dude? You're getting sent to a con. You know what you're going to do. Put your brain cells together. So, what happens next is they go into this ballroom. The ultimate groper, after the main character finishes crying for over a minute, this man was bawling his eyes out. I forgot to mention that. I'm really supposed to feel bad for this guy. Like we're supposed to. And what goes on then is the ultimate groper is now in this ballroom. Everyone notices this man with the gun and all. And no one wasn't saying nothing until he raised his gun and someone said, don't shoot, which I would not have assumed that's a real gun. But I guess someone just had that feeling, even though they were not outside for the massacre. So this man kills everyone in the room. There was one hiding under the table and proceeded to drag someone that sounds, I don't know, they sounded young, I'm not sure. And the main character yells to the ultimate groper to stop. And what happens? Main character doesn't do nothing. The guy just kills the furry. Weird, like worse than the rest. Like he took the knife and just like was digging it until the head came off. First of all, main character, you have a gun. If you want to be a hero, do something. But if not, shut up. Like, I don't understand what was stopping him from just, if he really felt bad, if he really wanted to feel like he wanted to be a hero, he could have turned the tables at any point. But no, he didn't. He just let it all play. So next, and I'm about to skip over a lot here. There was a phone going off in the main hall. But oh yeah, by the way, the ultimate gripper didn't say nothing to the main character when even though they yelled stop or whatever, and did all that weird stuff. Phone call saying loving wife. Furry tried to reach it. Some guy kills the furry. Another furry was like about to hide behind a pillar and kills the same guy there. I guess apparently that was a officer for. I'm not too sure. It was like another furry that was in a car that had a gun. And while the main character got a drink to like take a break, and so did the ultimate groper. He just went outside while the main character fell behind, and there was a guy with a car with a fur with a gun, and he proceeded to like fire at them. And what happens is the ultimate groper gets like shot somewhere on like the hip, and one of the dudes was like at the door, and the people that was helping them killed the guy that was like had the gun. And told the main character like, "Yo, what are you doing? Help him up." The other two guys, however, before all this, they actually put a bomb in the building and prepared to blow it up before they left. So after they ran out, they all exit, they leave, building explodes, and then the cops show up. Then the cops show up, by the way. While all this was going down, I don't think no cop really pulled up at all. At all. But then they want to pull up. So officers then pulled up on scene. Officers pulled up and chased them. For some reason, the officers were... Oh, by the way, all this was in Maryland. I was like, yo, what? So this takes place in Maryland. This is goofy. The officers, while chasing the vehicle, were shooting. Now, I watch body cam footage and stuff. I'm pretty sure that the cops shouldn't be doing that just in case so they don't accidentally hit a bystander. Why are they shooting from out the vehicle? While they was getting away, they hit another furry, and the cops didn't even stop to assist the furry that got hit. There's no sign that they made like an intercom call or anything like that. But bro, what is? There's nothing for me to say. I think I get the point. They're just gonna keep killing furries, right? So they eventually get away, and what happens next? They somehow had their vehicle repainted and fixed, and then they went back to I guess the zone they were supposed to, a safe spot they were supposed to be at, and they noticed a vehicle. The ultimate groper was like, "Oh, anything could happen." I'm like, "Wow, thanks for the foreshadow now." So, well, actually, let's be real. That whole all them episodes were foreshadowing. At least on episode 2, I didn't think the noob was the leader. Apparently, I could be wrong, but basically in episode 3, at the end, because we're at the end of this now, what presses me is apparently that car that was out there was actually being used by 2 furry girls. And for some reason, the good-looking one had 2 Uzis on her hip. They heard people talking in the vehicle. They didn't bother to ask who or what when they walked through that door to see that the vehicle was in there and they heard the voices. They were just confused. But instead of trying to figure out who it could be or investigate why, guess what they do? Or the girl with the 2 Uzis, the other one pulled out their pistol. The whole van. The whole back of the van got lit up. They were not playing. So what bothers me is why? For one, why? But at this point, everybody, besides the innocents, is just a menace in this animation. Now, those guys, reasonably, I would say, deserve it. Was it done justifiably? Court of law, no. But heroically, Yes, if you even want to count those girls as heroes, who knows what their motives are? They just came out the cut. They could be vigilantes. I could be wrong, but they just came out the cut, and there was questions. Actually, I'll save that for the end. So, the main character and the person in the front survives this. Well, the person with the front. They didn't like shoot the front of the vehicle. They just shoot like the middle. But the main character somehow survives this, and calls the boss while the driver in the front holds out like his pistol. And in the back, I don't know why. Is like I don't know why he didn't just check his like front view mirror or somewhere, but he points his gun at the back where the main character is. I'm assuming you think he was gonna shoot him or something. And then the main character calls the boss and was like telling him that the team is dead. And the noob asks like what or how. And then the one furry girl with the Uzi pulled up and like points the gun at the main character, asking about like asking like or saying how cute he was or whatever. And then the dude at the front starts firing, but then missed his shot, and then the girl started lighting the dude in the back up. So he's probably dead too. So main character, of course, on the phone, distraught. First, he didn't want to die, but then he had like this switch begging to be killed. So then the girl with the Uzi shot him because I guess she was like getting a little creeped out. So the noob guy on the phone was angry. He goes to his drawer, takes out a photo of those same two furry girls that I just witnessed murk that entire team. Chaos, hold the questions at the end. Okay, fine. After that, I guess this man got ready or something because he just left the scene right after. I don't remember if he got a call or not. I don't know. All I know is that like he just left. And so what starts to happen is like there's this furry on the phone. You don't hear the conversation. They don't allow the conversation to be heard. But a scene was going on for a while, and then the dude got into the car and left. So we're now at the point of the video where I give my thoughts. That writing is annoying. I couldn't even tell who motives or what, other than these guys just hate furries. I genuinely cannot tell. I was not able to put anything together. And that scene with that was random. The dude killing his best friend was also random. Why did he kill his best friend? Is he not his best friend? He knows for a long time. I'm sure he could have had some like leniency or leeway, or try to give his best friend a chance. But he didn't even give it a day. It seems like he didn't even give it a day. Who knows? The main character probably had always been like this. We don't exactly get the origins of the said main character. Now, the fact that this main character died in episode 3 tells me like, was this supposed to be a prologue? Was this guy not supposed to be the main character? I mean, it was really centered around him. But it seems like it was building up to something entirely different. Next is the noob and the two furry girls. Again, random, of course. Very random. But why? What made them separate? What made this noob guy hates furries now? I'm thinking he hates furries now because he obviously coordinated this whole thing. So whatever happened between him and those two furry girls is the reason why they decided to go on that massacre. Next, bro, I think some people found, if not most, found the ending deserved for those individuals in the van, in that van at the end. I think I already stated that. Valid. But I don't know if the two girls that did that are good or bad themselves. I don't see no indicator if they are good or bad because everybody was just hectic. Besides the innocent furries at a con, everybody was hectic. There's not much I can say. I just wanted to rant about that because that entire those 3 episodes really had me. Like, the writer was clearly trying to make a plot. They were trying to. It looked like they were. But then it just went downhill. What did I not like most about that entire animation? Now, before I make anybody mad, No, I didn't like what happened to the one furry in the bathroom either with the ultimate Grover. I didn't like it either. Okay, I just thought I should point that out. I personally didn't like the massacre either, and I didn't like how furries were portrayed. But the thing that had me was trying to understand the main character and why. Because if we're focusing on him, why is there barely anything to know? Why do we gotta feel bad for this guy? Is he a trauma victim? Does he have like a certain disability? What was the main key for all of this? Not that it matters now, because the main character's dead. So where does the story go? Do we follow the noob? Do we follow the cop furry guy now? Or do we follow the two furry ladies? Now, unfortunately, probably never get the answers to that question because that creator decided to private everything and put it on their boosty or whatever they commented on their trailer. To make a quick clarification, it actually got taken down because of how insane the whole thing was. So no, it didn't get private. It got taken down. Tried to move it to Newgrounds, and apparently it also got taken down there. I'm not too sure. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, they just moved it to their boosty. Man, if I ever, I just hope I don't ever see another animation like that regards furries in such a way, because yo, would it be an interesting story to listen to and tell? For anyone that's interested in stories, yes. And the same people that are interested in stories probably confidently won't say nothing because I guess the court of public opinion matters the most. But I don't really care about none of that. If you show something stupid or something like, how do I put this? How do I put this without sounding like like I'm just bashing? If this wasn't sounding like a bash session the whole time. If you show something, especially animation, critiques are bound to happen. What critique do I have? I wish I could say I have more other than what I said at the beginning, that everything didn't feel like it fit when it came to it trying to tell a story. I'm not a pro writer, so I personally can't say anything, but I do, like I said, I like to write characters, and I like writing stories, and the main character, I didn't feel like there was any dynamic between any of those guys in there. The only dynamic was they all just didn't like furries, and they just all wanted to just annihilate them, every last one of them, which is stupid. That is completely silly. That's really all I have to say. I don't think I can express my opinion any more than this. There's a reason why it was in the back of my head for a while that I wanted to get this video up, but I didn't want to be talking about it while a whole thing was going on days ago, because I personally don't want to get. I know I probably stated this on the channel before. I did not want to get put up in a spot, or basically I don't want to follow specific trends. I just wanted to state my thoughts. Actually, I don't think this video will even get enough reach for it to be on the spot. Hence why I'm glad I didn't make a video like this late, like this. I mean, I think it's probably what, a good week or a few days late. I was thinking to upload it, but yeah, nah. I think you can understand. I just don't want to follow I'd rather stay small and niche for now. Is what I'm trying to say. Because I'm seem fine so far just being small creator, and the more bigger I get, what I'm trying to say is I don't want to rush it, because if it starts to push in too quickly, I won't have enough time to try to understand what it means to be in the spotlight, because I personally was not trained for it. Anyway, thank you for listening. You have a good one. Bye-bye.